'Tis the season to be jolly, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hello everyone and welcome to this special episode where we're going to do some Christmas decorations. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of baubles here, and we're basically going to upcycle these baubles, and we are going to call them Schneeball, which means snowballs in German. So here I have this little bauble here, which is transparent, and actually you can well, let me remove this. So here we have this bauble here, which is transparent, and you can either decorate it as you wish by filling it up with Christmas flowers, Christmas decorations, snow, anything you like. We would go for these bendy mold wings, for example. We can leave them as they are. We put it in the bauble, close it, and our Christmas decoration is done. But we decided to do something different. So basically we used some decoupage, some molds, and some effects. And here is the first step. What you need is a bauble. It can be even an old bowl. Perhaps you want to redecorate your Christmas tree, and instead of throwing away your baubles, you can just paint and redecorate to your heart's desire. So no need to throw away any Christmas decorations. You can simply readapt to your new style, or perhaps an older style that you might like, for example, a vintage look. So what we need is the bauble, some finishing coat, a paper napkin where we're going to use only half of it, and a brush to create the effect that we want to do. So we'll just put some finishing coat in the cup. Then we take the bauble and start from the side like this. We put the napkin like this, and then we go again with the finishing coat. here we have the napkin absorbing our finishing coat. The next step would be leaving it to dry for about 2 or 3 hours, and then give it another coat of finishing coat, so that where the napkin isn't really fixed, it gets the effect, the rough effect that we want to create. What would be the next step? The next step would be basically that of putting a decorative item. In this case, let me find it. I lost it. Oh, it's here. We're using these bendy mold, little flexible mold, and we're decorating our bauble with it. So how do we do that? This is a fairly easy exercise. We use the glue. We put some glue on the mold. We make sure we cover everywhere. Just on the mold in this case. We don't need to go on the bauble as well. And that way we're already preparing for the next step. So we let the glue start drying before we put the bauble in place, and that would be this one. We just put the bauble here. We can help it with a little bit of masking tape if we wish, so that it can adhere really well. But if we let the glue start drying before we putting it in place, that would be enough. And here we have the bauble here, look, with the decorative mold from bendy molds ready and in its place. Now, what's the next step? The next step would be painting our baubles. And the painting is fairly easy and fairly straightforward. In my case, creating a Schneeball, I wanted the ball to look white. But instead of stark white, I'm using an off-white, which is wedding cake from the Alfresco range of the Frenchic furniture paint, of course. And that color is the perfect combination for our Christmas decorations that we have decided to do for this year's special 2020 edition of Christmas. Well, I don't know about the season to be jolly, but I don't know you, but this year wasn't really that jolly. But it's up to us to at least have some merriment and enjoy a little bit this Christmas season, whilst thinking of other people, of course, that might need our assistance, especially during these situations we're living now in crisis. But there's no limit for hope. Let's just keep hoping, and also let's keep our spirits high. And that's the idea of this episode today. And we're going for the paint now. And let's take this one here. So it's dry. 2 coats of finishing coat on the napkin. We fixed the mold, and now we're going to paint. As you can see here, we have the first coat. I did a rough brushing with the paint because I don't want it to look that perfect. Being a snowball, of course, you might reconsider this option, but for me, the paint isn't really that important to be without any marks or any texture. So texture would be lovely in here. What do we do next? The next step would be letting it dry somewhere, like we're doing here. And then when dry, we just use a second coat to make sure that all the ball is covered. And here we have another bauble which is ready with 2 coats of wedding cake, and the last step from my end would be to paint this. Rather than painting it, just putting on a little bit of gold. And the gold, we are going to do it really subtle. How? We're using clear wax, the transparent wax, and some gorgeous gold. So first we put just a tad of gorgeous gold, like that. I'm getting some clear wax, putting it here and mixing. And the idea is so that we don't have a really solid gold on the baubles, but just a little bit, having just a little bit of fun on it. And we'll use this detailing brush for this exercise. So first we go on the mold, which is here. And here, as you can see, we have more than enough of gold on our mold. And now I'm using the upper part of the bauble to create the effect I want. On its shininess. And here you can see how the effect, the gold effect, goes where the napkin, the rough edges of the napkin have gone. And we'll finish this. And here is our little decorative Christmas bauble in gold. Now, if we see that we have too much gold, we can simply go with the rest, either the rest of the napkin or with a dry cloth and remove the excess. And this way it will be our final products. I'm sure you can create whatever you want with these kinds of simple Christmas baubles. You can do whatever you want, color-wise, decorative-wise, but you can save your old baubles if you don't like them. So you can recreate whatever you want, and you can do this every year if you wish so that every year you have a different looking Christmas tree or Christmas decoration. Ta-ta! See you next time. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel RescoliByCarlo and see this last little bit of footage. Ta-ta! Ħajt xi ħaġa.
Iġbed.
X'niġbed? Qed niġbed video da.
Ritratt. Iġbed li ritratt.
Tal fuq YouTube.
Għanamlu profil.